Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another broadcast of The Weekly with me, Neff. Please subscribe to the channel and share this video. I appreciate the support, and it helps out because YouTube is making algorithm changes. But I wanted to talk a little bit more about the Backrooms that is releasing this weekend. If you looked at my latest community post, I talked about the film Obsession, and I did a review for that film. So if you haven't watched that, please go watch that. But more on the Backrooms, it looks like the embargo has lifted for the critics, and it's positive overall. Now, this is on Rotten Tomatoes, the tomato meter. When I first saw the score that debuted, it was at an 85%, which isn't bad by any means, but now it's at an 86% with 72 reviews overall on the tomato meter. Obviously, the popcorn meter is not up yet because the average moviegoer hasn't been able to see this movie or talk about it, right? So we'll get that sample set probably starting either tomorrow night or Friday when this film does debut. But at 86% overall is a good look for this film. It releases on the 29th. Obviously, it runs an hour and 50 minutes. The Backrooms does have a lot of lore, and I'll probably have some links in the description for people to read more into the Backrooms, but very interesting overall. Let's look at a couple reviews from these critics without giving too many spoilers away. Tim Roby from Daily Telegraph UK gives it a 5 out of 5. Backrooms could have taken any number of sabotaging turns or undercut itself with effects that aren't needed. Instead, it builds with clear logic, solid acting, and doesn't skimp on being suggestive. Tara Brady of Irish Times, 4.5 out of 5. Backrooms succeeds where other creepypasta adaptations have dismally failed and requires no prior knowledge of its storied history. This is from Kat Hughes of THN, 4 out of 5. Backrooms is a thoroughly well-crafted, disorienting nightmare that is sure to have new audiences flocking to Kane Parsons' original web series for more tales of liminal horror. And like I said, as far as Backroom goes, there is a lot of lore regarding the Backrooms, a lot of levels, a lot of things to learn more about. I do think this film is going to be focusing on level 21 mostly, but there is over 1,000 levels in the Backrooms with different settings, of course. But I do think this is going to be unique in the theater experience. We've never quite seen a film like this, so I think it has potential. My expectations are tame for it. I expect it to be a fun film and something that is a different type of horror, right? Not something that's going to be a bunch of jump scares or a bunch of gore, right? Maybe something a little more psychological in a sense. So those are my expectations for the Backrooms. I think it'll be a decent flick. For all the viewers out there, be looking out for my review more than likely on Sunday evening for the Backrooms. Definitely going to try to record it as soon as possible. As you know, I'm going to do it without spoilers, just letting you know pretty much the synopsis of the film without a lot of details. And then, you know, saying if you should watch it in theater or if you shouldn't watch it in theater. With me knowing a little bit more about the Backrooms, I'll know what to look for in the film, and then I'll probably talk about that in different aspects of how they shot the film, technicals, things like that I usually do in my reviews, so be looking out for that. I think the marketing has been decent for Backrooms, to be quite honest. The budget looks pretty tame, maybe something under $10 million plus, so I think they could make a lot of money, especially because of the online presence of the Backrooms and the following that the Backrooms has. And if word of mouth takes over, I think it's going to be a good look for this film. The 86%, like I said, is definitely a great way to get people interested overall. Possibly not having that question mark of if they should go see it or not. There are a lot of people that do rely on reviews from critics. I don't in particular. I rather see what the audience thinks about it overall, but I essentially go to watch a movie if I feel I'm interested in the movie, and then I give my critiques and my review on the film regardless of what anybody else says. But I do know people do rely on critics' reviews quite a bit before they do make that decision. Ladies and gents, let me know what you expect from the Backrooms if you do decide to go watch the film. Also, let me know if you know a little bit more about the Backrooms. We could talk about the lore of the Backrooms in the comments section. I'd appreciate that, and it helps out as well just to get dialogue going. With that being said, please subscribe to the channel, share this video, comment down below, ring the bell for notifications, and be safe. It's Neff signing off.